Rich, smooth Meisterbrow, the beer that only tastes expensive. And by McDonald's. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
The Eagles will receive the kickoff to start the second half. Morton Anderson will kick off. Deep, Herman Hunter. It is 20-7. New Orleans out in front. And we'll see if Ron Jaworski can continue to move this Eagle offensive team here at the start of the second half. He got the touchdown pass to John Spagnola just as the first half came to a close, and we'll see if that in some shape, manner, or form ignited this Eagle team.
I'll also be curious to see if the Saints can play with the kind of intensity they played in the first half.
Anderson puts it deep into the end zone. Herman Hunter says, no way. A wise decision. And Jaws will get it started from his own 20-yard line.
Well, Dan, in the first half statistics, as you would guess, mostly says New Orleans. For passing, the Saints had 104 yards, but the Eagles came back where they had a -9 before Jaworski came in the game, and they ended up with 95 yards. You see Jaworski threw for 104, but with the sacks, you end up with a little less on the net.
Ron Jaworski starts for Philadelphia. Randall Cunningham given a rest. Michael Haddix, his lone setback. Jaworski downfield to Spagnola. And again, Big John is in the open, and look at him go. John Spagnola breaking some tackles, some sloppy tackling by the Saints, and he's got the Eagle first down.
I really get excited when the tight end starts moving like that. Usually the tight end has lots of room to work over the middle because he has linebackers. Here you see him coming across number 88. He makes the catch, and now he's being chased by linebackers. Big John Spagnola, good move. He picks up a block by Kenny Jackson. He cuts back. John better watch out. They're going to have him at wide receiver soon.
You have to wonder if a game the Saints at one point in time in the first quarter thought was going to be a laugher isn't going to end up to be more than they bargained for. First down at the 42. Jaworski to Ernest Jackson. He cuts back. Ernest Jackson beyond midfield. Johnny Poe finally makes the hit.
And you got Saints standing around, looking around, Dan, and that's not the way they were in the first half. The first half, the Saints were flying all over the field. And the question is, can they get going again? Because the Eagles are here to play in this half. I told you in the first half that Marion Campbell was going to tell his team there's two halves, and the second half is going to be our half.
Ernest Jackson will have to carry the balance of the rushing attack over the season for Philadelphia. He's doing a good job of it today, and on second and short, he gets it again. He drives forward, and he'll be very close to an Eagle first down. We'll have to check the spot, and an awful lot of Saints are standing around.
You know, I guess if any head coach really knew the answer to how to keep his team at an emotional peak, he would probably be the most successful coach of all time. In fact, he probably wouldn't have to coach. He could just sell the sequel.
It's a never-ending problem, and the Saints got off to such a quick start. Their crowd was so emotional, and now they're allowing the Eagles to get back into it, and it is another Eagle first down. Jaworski continues to move this ball club.
On that last short yardage play, you can see what an extra tight end can do. There's number 26, Haddix, coming on Ricky Jackson. But Ricky, even though he got backed up off the line, still came up and made the tackle. But too late, first down Eagles.
They did need a lot for the first down, and sometimes in that situation you don't need a bone crusher of a block to be effective. Some movement up front. John Spagnola got a head start. And now Ricky Jackson decides to have a little conversation with Mark Dennard, the center.
Well, you got to forgive John. He's got to be excited because his favorite quarterback, Ron Jaworski's in the game. But then again, you don't expect a mistake from a Yale man, do you?
You and your guys from up east.
Encroachment, number 88, offense. He made contact.
John Spagnola being very candid with us yesterday, talking about what it means to a veteran receiver when there's a youngster put in a quarterback.
Oh, yeah, and especially a tight end, it takes a while for a quarterback to learn how to use a tight end. It's easy to go back and hit that out because it's so obvious. But hitting the tight end over the middle where there's so many defenders takes a little bit of experience. And I think that's why John is happy when Ron comes into the game.
John Spagnola had 65 catches a year ago for the Eagles. First down and 15. Jaworski downfield. The ball pops loose, but I think they're going to call it a dead ball. I think they'll rule it down. Penalty flag?
Yeah, there's a flag, looked like around the line of scrimmage.
Back at the 40-yard line. The Eagles are making it tough on themselves. Ricky Jackson says, I'm not sure what it is, but we'll move them back. How's that? An umpire with number 100 on the back.
Yeah.
Holding number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, that's center Mark Dennard, who just had words with Ricky Jackson the play before, and a lot of penalties in this game.
Yeah, that has been a lot of penalties. 14 penalties. That's a lot.
Well, Philadelphia continues to march backwards. They put themselves into a 1st and 25 situation. They must get all the way to the 38-yard line of New Orleans for a first down. Jaworski on the long count. The screen was set up to Ernest Jackson, but Whitney Paul, applying the pressure, forced a bad throw.
Well, Whitney Paul came in on the blitz that time, and sometimes you like a blitz for a screenplay because everybody comes upfield and you can get behind him. But that time they just couldn't complete the play. There's 51 Whitney Paul. He plays that right outside linebacker, and he's not the biggest linebacker at only 218 pounds. But believe it or not, at one time he was a defensive end when he played at Kansas City.
Tell me about it.
I couldn't believe it.
I have played across from Whitney Paul before, and he was at a bit of a disadvantage. I only outweighed him by about 80 pounds, I think.
I bet you killed him too, Dan.
No, he's a very strong player. Jaworski, 2nd and long, almost intercepted. That time Mike Quick did a good job of breaking up the pass. Willie Tullis might have had an interception for the Saints.
Well, that's why a quarterback can have confidence throwing to an all-pro receiver like Mike Quick. Here, Quick had the single coverage. He breaks outside and uses his speed to get upfield. Now, this is a delicate throw where he tries to drop it in there, but the throw is underthrown, and Quick still almost came up with that. What an athlete.
Mike Quick, though, not running away from Willie Tullis. He was with him shoulder to shoulder. It is 3rd and very long. 3rd and 25. The Saints go to the 4-man rush. Jaworski. Under pressure, throws it away.
A wise move by the veteran quarterback. That time he had lots of pressure on him. You're not going to get 25 yards very easily on 3rd down, so he threw it away. But unfortunately, the Eagles took themselves out of that series with that penalty.
He was being chased by Jim Wilkes and Bruce Clark back in the backfield. And that's a point well made, Gene. Penalties kill the Eagles on that series. Mike Horan, a fine high punt, drives Martin back inside his 20. He's got some room. He turns the corner, but penalty flags are down. Son of a gun, it's getting tough to run a kicking play here without a penalty.
Yeah, Reggie Wilkes made almost a saving tackle because he was just about to turn that corner and find his blocking wall. You know, Eric Martin was only a 7th-round draft choice, and now here he is starting at wide receiver.
12 men on the field at the snap of the football.
Well, now it's up to the Eagles as to whether they want to punt again. A 5-yard penalty against the Saints comes a long way from being a first down. As it's 4th down, 25 yards to go.
But Marion just gave him a signal.
Yeah, he said, go ahead and kick it away, guys. Martin got some good yardage on that return, so that's going to force him to kick again, and that's kind of a break for Philadelphia.
Well, I don't know, but Campbell must certainly think that his team is in excellent condition because a lot of coaches would not want that team to have to run down there again. I mean, when you run down full speed to cover a punt, I don't care what kind of condition you're in, you're a little out of breath. So maybe, you know, he's been working the team very hard in practice, because I've seen this kind of decision backfire because the team was so tired they didn't get down and cover, and it got run back on them. We'll have to see how they get down this time.
Although you'd think that the heat and the conditioning might not be too big of a factor here in the Dome, where you don't. Next Sunday on CBS, it's a doubleheader Sunday. The early game following the NFL today will be St. Louis against the Eagles. The Giants visit Cincinnati, and Detroit goes to Washington. Then in the second game, the later game, Atlanta and Seattle, New Orleans and the Raiders, and the Bears 49ers.
Well, the Eagle defense really has to reassert themselves here and get the Eagles back into the game by shutting out the Saints in this series.
Wayne Wilson looks for running room. He finds a couple of yards, gets across the 20.
Well, the Saints are going back to the basics. When you want to get that offense going again, best thing to do is to hand it off to a guy that you know that can carry it and get those big guys up front to move them out.
He picks up 4 on that carry. And I think, in talking about the Eagle defense, they have played so well all year. And when, you know, they're now in a situation where they have to do it once again.
Well, they're hoping to get Reggie White back this half, and that'll be a big plus.
2nd and 5 for the Saints. Dave Wilson goes to the far sideline. He's got the completion. He's got the completion. That's Jeff Groff. He's got the completion, and that is going to be good for a New Orleans first down.
Well, Jeff Groff is their number 3 wide receiver, but they like him a lot. He comes in and makes a big catch. That time, again, they're working on Albert Fowles, replacing the injured Roynell Young at corner for the Eagles.
And that was the way that New Orleans started this ball game, going against Fowles.
They better be careful.
On first down, Wayne Wilson. Flag goes down, and Wilson doesn't get much. Trying to get around the corner. He's met from the inside by Mike Reichenbach, and this is going to work against New Orleans.
Right. I was saying, Dan, you really got to be careful when you try to pick on an individual in that Eagles defense, because they have a way of covering up for him and coming back and making a big play when you're trying to pick on him. The penalties so far, you got New Orleans have 9 penalties for 72 yards, while the Eagles have 6 penalties for 44 yards, but yet New Orleans is leading.
Holding, number 67, offense, repeat, first down.
Stan Brock, their right tackle, gets New Orleans' 10th penalty on the day. So we're racking up some impressive statistics in the penalty column.
Well, that's what happened to the Eagle drive last time. A penalty knocked them out. Now they've got decent field position. If the Eagles can keep the Saints pinned in, the Eagles will get the ball back looking pretty good around midfield.
If you're a New Orleans fan, even though you're up 20-7, you've got to be a little uncomfortable. On 1st and 20. Dave Wilson throws it to Wayne Wilson. Wayne Wilson, a fine open field tackle by Reggie Wilkes. Let's look at some scores from around the league. 12-3, Tampa Bay still leading the Bears.
Shocking.
27-3, Green Bay opening up their lead over the Lions.
Tough Central Division battle.
Boy, I guess so. 10-3, the 49ers out in front of the winless Falcons.
49ers still having their problems.
Dave Wilson, 2nd and 15, completes it to Wayne Wilson, who goes into an early spin. Up near the 30-yard line is Wayne Wilson.
We got some more scores. The Colts taking a bigger lead now over the Buffalo Bills, still trying to find that first win. Cleveland over New England. And boy, that must be a tough one down in Miami. That's a replay of last year's championship game in the AFC.
17-17. 8:39 and counting in the third quarter. 3rd and 10 for the Saints. Under pressure, Dave Wilson goes down, and there's another flag. Here comes another flag. Flags everywhere back at the line of scrimmage.
Well, the Eagles got number 91, Reggie White, back into the game, and that's got to help their pass rush.
A holding call against New Orleans, which I would assume will be declined by the Eagles, and that'll force the Saints to punt.
Boy, Reggie is big, Dan. Woo!
Reggie is big. Reggie had to leave the game in the first half with some bruised ribs. You can see he's got the flak jacket on underneath his jersey. You can see it stretching it there at the sides.
Holding the 71 and 64 on the offense. Penalty decline. Fourth down.
Did you say on 51 and 64?
No, 71 and 64. Petey Perot and Dave LaFari, left guard and left tackle, respectively.
They were holding Reggie.
They were holding Reggie, is right.
Oh, my goodness. Two guys had to hold him.
Brian Hansen. A high, towering punt. Evan Cooper fields it at his 33, and down he goes. A 45-yard punt. How's that for some hang time? And James Haynes makes the tackle.
That's got to be a scary feeling sitting down there waiting for a punt that was kicked so high. It looks like there might be a flag on the play, or is another airplane.
Another flag back at the line of scrimmage, and we'll probably have a Saint leaving early. After that kick and after that return, you'd think they might want them to punt again.
Ineligible downfield, number 54, kicking team. 5-yard penalty, repeat fourth down.
Well, you called it, Dan. That was Alvin Tolles, the rookie linebacker from Tennessee. A little anxious, getting away a little too soon, and I don't think Bum is thrilled right now.
Alvin Tolles, the #1 draft choice of the New Orleans Saints here in 1985. A small linebacker, only 6'1", 211. But boy, does he have some quicks.
That's right. Very fast, and they like him because they think he could be a blitzer in the mold of Whitney Paul, who's been so successful at that outside linebacker spot.
Well, Alvin needs to harness some of that quickness, at least for a second or two, until the punt is away. Hansen to punt again. The line of scrimmage, their own 19. Evan Cooper, another high kick, drives Cooper back. He's going to try the right side, but the Saints with outstanding coverage.
That coverage was outstanding. Led by number 50, Jack Del Rio, another rookie linebacker.
Well, Hansen shows why he goes to the Pro Bowl, a 51-yarder, and the Saints still hold their lead.
John, understand. It's time.
What?
It's time, John.
What about my family?
You know that humongous mortgage on your house? With Transamerica Life, it can be paid.
It's paid?
And your son's college?
It's paid?
It's time.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
No, not that time. Your premium is due.
Transamerica Life Insurance. The power of the pyramid is working for you.
Who has expanded your TV picture by adding 4 new corners? It's RCA. Introducing RCA's picture window TVs. Sleek, slender screens with full corner-to-corner picture. They're all picture, all RCA ingenuity, and as pretty off as on. The new picture window TVs in new larger screen sizes from RCA. Technology that excites the senses.
Vladimir! Where is Comrade Petrenko?
What is commotion?
This beer Petrenko buys for embassy.
Meisterbrow, expensive capitalist beer.
Niet. Our operatives tell me is not expensive. Only tastes expensive.
Then what he's doing with money he says he spends on beer?
I want to buy big American automobile with tail fins.
Rich, smooth Meisterbrow. It only tastes expensive.
See Michigan battle Michigan State or UCLA against Stanford next Saturday on CBS Sports.
We've talked about our NFL doubleheader next Sunday. How about next Saturday? CBS Sports presents college football. The interstate rivalry between the Michigan Wolverines and the Michigan State Spartans. Michigan State, which almost upset Iowa yesterday, and Michigan the winner over Wisconsin. Some ball game, live 2:30 Eastern next Saturday on CBS. First down, Philadelphia. Ron Jaworski still at the helm. He goes downfield, wide open. Number 86, Greg Garrity.
I don't know what happened, Dan, but you can't get much more open than that.
Johnny Poe, the cornerback to that side.
Well, let's see how he did it on the replay. Here's a play action. Fake play action means a fake run. Jaworski does that to Haddix. He looks to his left and lays out a beautiful ball. And Garrity wide open. What was Johnny Poe thinking about? Boy, he tried to take his head off.
And very nearly missed the tackle. Garrity picks up the Philadelphia first down in New Orleans territory. At the 36. Jaworski, Ernest Jackson. Ernest Jackson doesn't get outside as Glenn Red makes the tackle after Ricky Jackson was caught to the inside, a loss of 1.
Well, it looked like the Eagles tried to run a bit of a misdirection play. And I didn't even see an Eagle blocker getting out in front of him because the right side pulls to the left. You see him going to the left, and then here come the pullers. And Jackson, who gets kicked, tripped, but he still gets around that ball and comes in to fall on Jackson. Boy, kind of late, too.
Glenn Red came all the way out from the inside to make that tackle, and it's a good thing he did. 2nd and 12. Jaworski completes another one to Spagnola, and John Spagnola approaches the first down. He'll be a yard or 2 short.
Well, there's room inside, and Spagnola is finding it.
Why is it that in pressure situations, veteran quarterbacks love to go to their tight end?
Because it's a natural mismatch inside. Usually the linebackers are trying to cover the tight end, and linebackers usually are about 20 pounds heavier and a couple of steps slower, which gives the tight end an advantage once he clears them. He can usually curl around him and get open.
Spagnola with 7 catches on the day. Gets the Eagles to within 2 of the first down. 3rd and 2. And Ernest Jackson hit at the line of scrimmage. Hit on the line of scrimmage by Jim Wilkes. And he's not going to get it. Now it's the Saint defense that came up with a big play when they had to. We may get a measurement. As soon as everyone gets up, we'll find out where the ball is to be spotted.
Boy, Dan, I don't know if that was the side I would run it on, but Ricky Jackson and Bruce Clark over there, boy, I'd think about going left. But most teams are right-handed, and you can see how tough it is to run against that side against the Saints. Here's Ricky Jackson coming in there. And boy, there's some bodies over there.
Well, it's 4th down and a full yard for the Eagles, and down by 13. There's no doubt that they'll go for it, but Jaworski has some confusion and takes a timeout. Ron Jaworski takes the timeout, goes over to talk to Marion Campbell and Ted Marchabroda. A critical 4th down for the Eagles when we return.
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the armed forces. It's a great place to start.
Radio Shack knows when you're in business for yourself, you have to be productive to be profitable. The Tandy 1000 gives you a wide choice of PC-compatible software that allows your small business to do the job efficiently. And the price performance of the Tandy 1000 will convince you to have one for work or study at home. Tandy computers, in business, for business. Only at Radio Shack.
Tonight on the season premiere of Trapper John.
Is there anything that you can do?
You want to put this in me?
Trapper's first artificial heart implant could be the beginning of the end of his career.
Well, from the 28-yard line of New Orleans, up to this point, the play of the game for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm Dan Deerdorf, and along with Gene Fugit, we've got an Eagle Ball Club trying to get back into this ball game. 20-7, the Saints with the lead. 4th down. Jaworski to throw. Under pressure, Ron Jaworski throws an incompletion. The Saint defensive line all over him.
Well, that's a call that's easy to second guess, but I liked it because he had a chance to draw the Saints off sides. He had a long count. He tried to draw him. It didn't work. But then usually when you have a long count like that, the defense is so tense that they're going to go for the first run fake, which they did. Unfortunately, Jaworski could not complete the pass.
Jaworski looked shaken up as he left the field.
And now it's up to the Eagle defense, as usual, for Philadelphia.
As usual is right. Wayne Wilson, in the arms of Kenny Clark, the nose tackle, gets a couple. And as you can hear, the Saint crowd not very pleased with that call.
Yeah, well, Ron Jaworski is explaining what happened. At least he didn't throw an interception because he's had quite a day so far. Meanwhile, the Saints will be going back to their ace formation. That's their one-back formation that they've been so successful in the first half so far.
And don't underestimate your point of not throwing the interception. I mean, the 4th down incompletion, a lot of quarterbacks might have thrown it up for grabs.
Oh, no question.
2nd and 8, Dave Wilson. Has a completion. That's his tight end, Hobie Brenner. Hobie Brenner has a Saint first down.
Well, that was Gary Cobb, number 50, a linebacker again, trying to keep up with a tight end, and that's a tough job for a linebacker. You got to play that run, and you got to play the pass. And that time, Cobb was just a step behind, but he still was able to make the tackle.
Hobie Brenner is the Saints' leading receiver. Two teams that like their tight ends in the passing game. From the 41, first down. On the screen, Wayne Wilson. And these Eagles do not give up. They fly to the football, and that time only a pickup of 3 for Wilson.
Well, that was almost a naked screen that time. They started out with 2 backs in the backfield. Then they sent number 22, Tyrone Anthony, out to the flank to the right. With 2 flankers on the right, they both cleared out the zone, and then they tried to run a screen to the same side, but the linemen couldn't get out there, and maybe that's because their timing still is not what it should be because they're not used to playing together on that offensive line.
And Reggie Wilkes, the linebacker to that side, shadowing Wayne Wilson perfectly, followed him all the way out, and no one there to block him. He makes the tackle. It's 2nd and 7. Wilson again. Keeping it on the ground. Let's give him 5 on that carry. Number 24, Ray Ellis, the strong safety, in on that stop, as well as Rich Kranek, the outside linebacker.
Well, there's Earl Campbell, who we expected to see some today in this running situation. And this is a perfect situation for Earl Campbell because they're trying to run and control the ball. But Bum Phillips is staying with Wayne Wilson, who's been having quite a game so far.
Bum Phillips has received his share of criticism for bringing Earl Campbell here to New Orleans from Houston. On 3rd down, under pressure, Greg Brown gets the sack, and down goes Dave Wilson. Greg Brown, the 4th sack of the day for the Saints.
Well, I wonder about that call, Dan. They had been running the ball pretty successfully. It was 3rd and short, 3rd and 2 yards, and they go back for a deep drop pass. And there's number 98, big Greg Brown, thundering up the middle. There's 50, Gary Cobb, and now they've got to punt it to the Eagles.
A great story about Greg Brown. He was found working construction, invited for a tryout, and the rest is history, so to speak. 16 sacks a year ago. Brian Hansen. Evan Cooper lets it bounce. It's in the end zone. That'll be a touchback. Cooper wisely letting that ball go, and it paid off. A 58-yard punt, though, for Brian Hansen. Greg Brown and the Eagles try to come back. It's 20-7.
There's no sense in rehashing. They have to improve the deal.
American had the first flight. You're set.
Perfect. What's the best they can offer?
Looks like 52 a share.
Not good enough.
This is from Legal. Here are your tickets. You have boarding passes and seat assignments. It's American. Go straight to the gate. Good luck.
Luck? Luck is for rabbits. When you're something special, people know it.
Ever since man invented machines to move people, he has sought new ways to defeat the wind's resistance. And now there's a totally new aerodynamic design for this age. Ford brings you the age of Aerostar. Aerostar. Take it to the school. Take it to the campsite. Take it to the movies. Take it to the lumberyard. Or take it to the max. Yes, anywhere you take it, Aerostar proves its versatility.
Aerostar.
Ford Aerostar.
Now, Sears' biggest hardware sale of the year, with big savings on hundreds of items. Save on these Craftsman benchtop tools. This drill press, table saw, or bandsaw, $99.99. This Craftsman driller circular saw, $39.99. And save on this Craftsman blade pack or drill bit set, $16.99. For more big savings, come to Sears National Hardware Sale now.
There's more for your life at Sears.
A minute and 58 seconds left in the third quarter. And Philadelphia desperately trying to get back in this ball game. The Saints flirting with disaster.
Well, the Saints, have found out that they can't turn it on and turn it off. They came out at such a high emotional peak to begin the game. Got out to a big 20-0 lead. The Eagles came back to get a touchdown. It's been right just like that the whole second half. So now we're about to finish the third quarter, less than 2 minutes to go. Eagles still trying to get back on the board.
First down at the 20. Two backs in the backfield. Jaworski fakes. And his receiver, Garrity, fell on the play. He was open.
There's a look at number 35, Earl Campbell, the man who many thought would come here and lead this team into the playoffs. Other people wondered why he came. Earl is still trying to get adjusted into the Saints system and into the town of New Orleans. He's living in a hotel by himself. Hasn't made a lot of friends on the team yet. But the reason he's still playing, Dan, is he says he wants to get a Super Bowl ring. And he thinks that Bum Phillips and the Oilers, Bum Phillips and the Saints can do it. It's not the Oilers anymore.
Second and 10, Ron Jaworski completes it again to Spagnola. John Spagnola, always open across the middle.
I know John has to feel good. There was days when I was playing tight end, Dan, where I thought that on every pass play I could get open. And I think John is starting to get that feeling. He's caught 8 balls already, most of them in that middle area where all you have to do is duck that linebacker, and if you have a quarterback with guts, he'll throw it in there because it can be a risky throw. But Jaworski, he's not afraid to take risks.
4 yards needed for the Eagle first down. Quick in motion. Jaworski finds Mike Quick. Mike Quick drives upfield, and that's another Eagle first down. Anytime he touches the football, it could go all the way.
The defense has got to be nervous anytime that Mike Quick is on the field. You see him coming at you in motion. He'll go up and make an out, but watch what he does after he catches the ball. He just waits for that defensive man to go by him, and Johnny Poe is trying to catch up to him, but Spagnola came back and gave him a little lick there.
How is that for body control?
Mike Quick.
Aptly named. Ron Jaworski. The Saints across the line of scrimmage. Ernest Jackson with the football. Jim Wilkes again was across the line. Jim Wilkes flagged earlier for encroachment, and I think we're going to get it again. So this will make it 1st and 5 for Philadelphia.
Jaworski has always been very good at varying his cadence. A lot of quarterbacks go up to the line and they always go hut, hut. It's always the same.
Number 94 defense. 5-yard penalty, 1st and 5.
But Jaworski has a way of varying that. So sometimes he'll go up the line and go hut, and then he'll wait and then go hut again. And I think that the Saints, instead of watching the ball like their coach tells them to do, they listen for the quarterback and get caught off sides.
Only 5 yards necessary for an Eagle first down. Ernest Jackson gets very close. And that will be the last play of the third quarter. No one has scored. This has been the halftime score of 20-7, and that's the end of the third quarter. And the score is 20-7. We now pause for a word from your local station.
This is CBS.
All over Philly, people are saying rock on with 94 YSP.
All right, let's try them. Rock on, Philly!
I'm Robin Zander. I'm Rick Nielsen, a Cheap Trick. Rock on, Philly!
Hi, this is George Thurger for WYSP. Rock on, Philly.
Hey, Sammy Hagar here. Rock on, Philly!
Rock on, Philly with 94 YSP.
Running smooth and silent. Exxon, Exxon. Running strong and sure. Exxon, Exxon. Running smooth and easy. Running with the tiger. Running smooth.
For our highest octane unleaded premium ever, try Exxon Extra. It quiets knocks and pings for smooth performance.
Running smooth and easy. The tiger. Exxon.
Today, an operation took place in this room. The total bill will be more than most Americans earn in a year. For this, some patients take years to pay. Others must satisfy a deductible totaling hundreds of dollars. But those who belong to the employee health plan called HMOPA in New Jersey pay practically nothing. Same hospital, same doctors, same quality care. It's time you ask your employer about it.
Rock Hudson in Showdown, today at 4:30.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Light Beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer, and less.
This will be the first play of the fourth quarter. Second down and 1 for Philadelphia. They trail by 13. Ron Jaworski to throw. Way over everyone. He's trying to find Spagnola, and that ball overthrown by yards. Spagnola, though, well covered.
Well, the Saints finally got the message that the Eagles are going to be looking for Spagnola over the middle. But that's okay for the Eagles because Jaworski will now start to look more to his outside receivers, because that time Mike Quick was streaking over that post area, but Ron couldn't get it to him.
And I like that call on 2nd and 1. Hey, why not go for the big play? You still have 3rd and short yardage, which is what they have right now. Try for the big play.
Especially if you need 2 touchdowns to win.
Haddix and Ernest Jackson. Ernest Jackson gets the Eagle first down.
You know, the Eagles are still trying to take this crowd out of the game. That's always important for a visiting team because it can be very distracting to an offensive player.
Let's look at some scores. How's this? Chicago 13-12, a fourth quarter score, and a tight one in Tampa. Green Bay pouring it to the Lions 41-3. And San Francisco 17-10 over Atlanta. And how's this? Buffalo continues to struggle.
Yeah, they got a new coach too.
Hank Pulla, the coach of the Bills. Case Stevenson fired this week. On first down, Jaworski almost intercepted again. Dave Waymer, who's got 2 on the day, almost got 3.
That time Waymer was playing had helped deep, and he was playing a zone, but he let Quick get by him too quick. I mean, he was supposed to jam him, but he never got his hands on him, and Jaworski tried to get it in there, but Waymer, to his credit, recovered, followed Quick down the field, and almost made a big interception.
I think Ron Jaworski would, though, like to throw that again, as Mike Quick was, any way you want to look at it, 3 yards past Dave Waymer. A little higher, and that would have been an Eagle first down. It's 2nd and 10. Jaworski throws to Haddix. Haddix Haddix driven out of bounds. And one thing I think we've got to comment on, Ron Jaworski is getting a lot of time to throw the football more often than not.
Well, that he is, and you got to credit that offensive line for the Eagles, because we know that Clark and the rest of those guys on New Orleans front know how to get to the passer. Last week they sacked Joe Montana 6 times.
One more score. Cleveland in a game against New England is trailing by 3. Both of those ball clubs 2-2 going into today's action.
Big play for the Eagles and a big play for the Saints defense.
From the 45-yard line of New Orleans. The shotgun. A completion to Spagnola, and that is an Eagle first down.
That's the veteran for you. Ron Jaworski to Spagnola, that's a combination that's been going for some years now. They've had a long run in Philadelphia, and that time Ron saw that 51 Whitney Paul was going to attempt to cover Spagnola. And that time all John had to do was a run downfield, give him a little push to the right, break out to the left, and it was a tough diving catch. First down, Eagles.
And Spagnola having one of the best days of his career. The 6th-tier tight end from Yale. On first down, Ricky Jackson comes on the blitz. Going downfield to Mike Quick, but Waymer was there. I think some Eagle people were looking for a flag, but nothing doing.
Yeah, Terry Hogue was over there also. They had a blitz on that time, and I think we'll get a look at it on a replay. There's number 57, Ricky Jackson, and he loves the blitz. He says he loves to get a chance to get a kill shot on the quarterback, but this time he's blocked out. Ron probably couldn't see so well, and that's why the throw was not as accurate as he would have liked, because Quick had to wait for it. A little contact. Waymer was concerned, but no foul called.
Well, that's that situation. The hand can go on the back, but if you don't move the body, they won't throw the flag. Jackson again on the blitz. Terry Hogue that time almost had the interception as Ricky Jackson came pouring in on Ron Jaworski, and Hogue appears to be hurt.
That's a great illustration. There's Hogue on the field. But that last play was a great illustration of how devastating a weapon the blitz can be. Because that time they had the blitz on, the throw was errant, and Jaworski was, moving for his life back there, because I would not like to be there and watch number 57, Ricky Jackson, coming at me. Here, a guard's got to come out and get him, misses, and look at that play. Bruce Clark is in there also, and what pressure. From the end zone, you can see that as Ron Jaworski tries to look downfield, he's got hands in his face, and it's hard to throw an accurate pass under those kind of circumstances. Almost a very bad play.
Ron Jaworski faces a 3rd down and 10 yards to go when we return to the Superdome with the Saints out front.
The pride is back, born in America. The pride is back, born in America.
The pride is back with the versatile Plymouth Voyager. Car-like handling, front-wheel drive, 550 protection plan. Plymouth Voyager, the pride is back.
The pride is back, born in America. Again.
The events we speak of here took place when a man's reputation was his most precious possession.
I implore you, my lord, not to take leave of your senses. I'll not compromise, Edmund.
Historians disagree as to when the dispute began, but we do know that many brave men defended their honor to the utmost.
There must be some other way to settle this, Lord Croydon. Stand back. Only this way will honor be satisfied.
Good morning, gentlemen. You know the rules. Lord Henford, stand you ready?
I am.
Lord Croydon.
I am.
Then, gentlemen, take your ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the last time, gentlemen, have you watered your positions?
Tastes great. Less filling. Tastes great. Less filling.
So be it.
No one knows how long the argument has raged, but one thing is certain. Light beer from Miller went on to become the favorite light beer of all time.
3rd down and 10. Jaworski goes to the shotgun. He's going for it all, and he's got his man. A completion on the far sideline
to Ron Johnson.
Ron Johnson, a rookie, a first-year wide receiver from Long Beach State, and Ron Johnson with his first catch of the day.
That was some throw. Jaworski threw that ball before Johnson even came out of his break. You see Jaworski coming back. He's reading the defense now. He knows he has to go left, and he delivers the ball. Watch Johnson. He'll turn, and there it is. Big catch for a rookie.
Not only a big catch, his first catch.
Well, that's what I mean. That's a big one.
His first catch in the National Football League, and Ron Johnson will remember that for a while.
Lots of congratulations on the sidelines for the rookie.
How is this? Inside the New Orleans 20 from the 18-yard line. 1st and 10, Philadelphia. That's Ernest Jackson protecting the football. Going to have a tough time getting that away from Ernest. Ron Jaworski on the day after replacing Randall Cunningham, 17 of 30 for 217 yards. And a touchdown as he found John Spagnola at the very end of the first half.
Well, I guess Ron Jaworski has not gotten rusty.
Is it? I couldn't agree with you more there, and I think he's relishing the opportunity to play. If they score, it's going to be very quiet in the Superdome. Jaws on 2nd down, Spagnola. That's an Eagle touchdown.
And you called it, Dan. It's gotten real quiet here in the Superdome.
Terry Hogue came back into the game after being shaken up, and he's beaten by Spagnola.
Spagnola is having a tight end's dream of a day. He's been doing it short, he's been doing it long, and now his 2nd touchdown. Here on the replay, you can see Spagnola coming across the bottom of your screen. Jaws waits for him, delivers it, and Big John, number 88, 2nd touchdown of the day.
Glenn Red, the linebacker, started with Spagnola. McFadden delivers on the extra point. And it is a 20-14 ball game. John Spagnola with a pair of touchdowns here today has sparked the Eagles along with Ron Jaworski.
Well, we talked to him, and he said he likes that quarterback, number 7, and we can see why. We have some other scores today, Dan. There's some interesting games going on around the league. Naturally, this is one of them.
This is one of them, and New Orleans, I think, thought they had a pretty safe lead when it was 20-0. Green Bay, wow, are they doing it to Detroit? 43-3. San Francisco has scored again. It's now 24-10 over Atlanta. Dan Henning in Atlanta in trouble.
He could be the next one to go.
And Rod Dahauer about to take his Colts squad to 2-3. Buffalo will go, unfortunately, to 0-5. And Cleveland came back. They're now out in front of New England.
You know, Spagnola, John Spagnola, the tight end for the Eagles, is within a career day. His career high is 11 catches for 114, and already today he has 10 catches for 107 yards.
Paul McFadden kicks off, fielded by Martin. A short kick, and Eric Martin has some room. Eric Martin gives the Saints good field position. Next Sunday here on CBS, in the early game of our doubleheader after the NFL today, St. Louis and the Eagles, the Giants and Cincinnati and Detroit plays the Redskins. 12:30 Eastern, the start of those games. Gene Fugate and myself will be in Seattle for that Atlanta ball club. And New Orleans plays these Raiders out in Los Angeles. Not an easy assignment there. And the Bears and the 49ers, a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game.
Well, some of the Saints were telling us that they knew they had to win today because next week they're going to have their hands full, and they certainly will, playing the Raiders.
And I think they have their hands full right now. We've got an injured player on the field, clear into the Saint bench. That's one of the Eagle ball players. Trying to get an accurate read on the number. We don't want to speculate until we know for sure who it is.
Well, running down on those kicks can be very, very dangerous because you got a wide open field with people taking shots at you from all over. And it was not one of the favorite things of my football career, running down on kicks.
One of the blessings of being a big, slow tackle is that they never ask you to cover punts and kickoffs. From our vantage point here behind the Eagle bench, it's impossible for us to tell, although it is now we've been notified number 21, Evan Cooper, who's going to get up and, good news, walk off the field under his own power. You know, it's funny. I think a lot of people probably think that players on the opposing team relish seeing someone else get hurt, and gee, nothing could be further from the truth.
Not at all. In fact, we used to hope they could get back up so we could hit them again.
Well, I guess that's better than hoping they don't get back up.
That's for sure. Well, back to the Eagle defense, and they got their job cut out for them again, because if they can hold the Saints here, it's going to be a very interesting drive. 12 minutes to go in the game in regulation time, fourth quarter.
Marion Campbell, a defensive coach for 6 years, trying to be named the head coach. He was the defensive coordinator for Dick Vermeil in Philadelphia, so his defensive ball club playing well.
That's right. New Orleans only has 1 first down this entire half.
Tyrone Anthony, the lone setback. Dave Wilson rolls out, and he's got a completion to Hobie Brenner. Hobie Brenner picks up a Saint first down, and boy did they need that.
That was a big play with the tight end coming across the middle. He has a safety on him, number 48, Wes Hopkins. There you see 85. He's coming across to the top of your screen. Wilson's just going to wait for him and deliver the ball. And Hopkins goes for the breakup, can't get it, and pulls him down for the tackle. That's a tough play for a safety to have to cover, because that tight end's coming all the way across the field.
Some receivers need to pull the ball to their body. That catch was all hands by Hobie Brenner. In Philadelphia territory, Tyrone Anthony. Good for maybe 3 on the play.
Now this is a time, Dan, where I'm sure that Earl Campbell wishes that he could be in the game. You know, he talked about how he's probably letting this team down. The guys really look up to him and expect a lot of things of him, and he hasn't been able to really get on track this season. You know, he's hoping that the Saints can get into the playoffs. It would be their first time ever, and once you get in there, anything is possible, because he desperately wants a Super Bowl ring, because he's done it all as an individual.
2nd and 7. Kenny Clark, the nose tackle, comes across the line, makes contact, and that's going to be doing it the easy way for New Orleans, if indeed it goes against Ken Clark.
But Dan, how can a nose tackle be offsides? He's right in front of the ball.
Encroachment, 71 defense.
Well, Gene, remember earlier you were talking about how good some quarterbacks are at barking out those signals. Remember, the nose guard is the closest to the quarterback. So if you're susceptible to move on those voice inflections, hey, being the closest guy, sometimes it's hard to not pull the trigger. San Francisco opening up their lead over Atlanta. And Indianapolis.
That's a lot of points for those Colts.
49-10. The 5-yard penalty makes it 2nd and 2. Tyrone Anthony. Well, the crowd told you that he got the New Orleans first down. As we're about to move under the 10-minute mark here in the 4th quarter, and the Saints, for the first time this half, doing something offensively.
Well, they're doing it when they have to do it, and they're keeping it on the ground. Although that first pass that was for a big first down, I think, was really the one that got them going.
Early in the ball game for New Orleans, it was Wayne Wilson. Now it's Tyrone Anthony. This is Anthony again. Dancing back to the inside. Reggie Wilkes ended up making the tackle, but not until Anthony picked up some good yards.
Well, the Saints are now back into their ball control game plan. That's the way they started out the game, with Wilson looking downfield, taking it if it's there, and if not, dumping off to the back. And Tyrone Anthony that time made a nice run after the catch, taking exactly what the Eagle defense gives you. That is in front. So the Eagle defense will have to come up a little tighter now that they're inside the 30.
Tyrone Anthony was a 3rd-round draft choice from North Carolina last year. The Eagles show blitz. Off right guard. The Saints wisely running the ball into what was obviously going to be a team blitz by the Eagles.
Right. A lot of times you can bust that play on a blitz.
How many times have you seen a running back come out of there clean?
That's right.
I mean, nobody. And into the ball game right now, Wayne Wilson and Earl Campbell. For the short yardage play, Earl Campbell in the lineup. Third and 2. And Dave Wilson throws it away. Good coverage by the Eagles.
They weren't fooled. It was a fake to Campbell. And they tried to throw the pass to his lead blocker, but it didn't work. Wayne Wilson couldn't get open. Wilson, who's a very intense competitor, you can see he's upset. Wishes he can go for it, but I think they're going to have to kick it.
They'll try the field goal. Morton Anderson is in. He's 9 of 12 so far on the year. His longest kick has been 55 yards. This will be 44. It's right there. And New Orleans got a huge field goal from Morton Anderson. They've moved out to a 23-14 lead.
We're not a company.
But no company has more pride in what they do.
Or more pride in how well they do it.
We offer you a meaningful and fulfilling future.
One that goes far beyond the ordinary.
One that brings with it the respect and admiration of Americans everywhere.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Air Force.
The Marines.
The Army.
The Navy.
We're the Armed Forces.
It's a great place to start.
Ever wonder if your homeowner's insurance bills are getting bigger than they should be? Allstate makes it easy to find out. The next time you're in Sears, just drop off your current policy at Allstate. While you're shopping, we'll do everything we can to cut your costs down to size.
Good news?
Yeah, an insurance bill we can handle.
So can the mailman.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
More than most people, this man should have access to as much information as possible, which is why we've developed, with the American Medical Association, the first nationwide computerized medical information system. This system will give the physician immediate access to the latest knowledge and information on drugs and diseases.
Gee.
No. GTE.
See Michigan battle Michigan State or UCLA against Stanford next Saturday on CBS Sports.
8 minutes, 6 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and it's now or never for the Eagles.
Well, there are a lot of questions surrounding that franchise, and Jaws has to be one of them. What's he going to be doing next week after this fine performance today?
They need a good series. Herman Hunter does not get up to the 20. So a long way to go for Jaworski and the Eagles.
But there's still plenty of time, just slightly less than 8 minutes. And Jaworski knows how to run that 2-minute offense, because we saw that at the end of the first half. So we still have a lot of time for the Eagles to get back into the game. But this should be an opportunity for the Saint defense to shine, because last week when they had to shut out the 49ers, they did so. And now they're going to be challenged again.
As you can see, the Eagles, not a very good fourth quarter team offensively, although they haven't scored many points anytime. First and 10. Ricky Jackson.
You can see the pressure that Ron Jaworski has. They're coming up the middle, 75. Boy, I mean, there's so many guys I couldn't even name them all.
Well, Jim Wilkes came in from the backside. Bruce Clark and Tony Elliott coming up the middle, but it was Ricky Jackson who beat his man, went up into the air and forced Jaworski to pull it down. Second down, 19 yards to go. Under pressure, Jaworski to Major Everett. And he's tackled by Johnny Poe.
Well, it looks like the Saint defense has gotten their wake-up call, Dan. They're back into the game.
A wake-up call. That's a pretty good way of describing it. Well, this is the time you don't want to be an offensive lineman. You're trailing in the ball game. It's 3rd and long, and you're inside your own 15-yard line. And you got 4 guys over there in black shirts who know how to get to the quarterback. And you got a guy wearing number 57 who's there all the time. Ron Jaworski signals an Eagle timeout as the pressure is mounting against this Philadelphia ball club. 6 minutes, 46 seconds left in this contest. The Eagles try to come back.
Now, as I understand it, Bobby, in baseball, you keep your players in a bullpen, choke your bats, and steal bases?
That's right, Freddie, and just about everybody drinks light beer from Miller.
Oh, this is the one that's less filling.
Right again, and that's important to an old base stealer like me, and it tastes great.
Certainly does. Now, about these bases, mate, how many did you steal?
681.
Wow. 681? Blimey, where do you keep them all?
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
No matter how hard you work, Right Guard can help keep you smelling good for up to 24 hours.
You work hard, you need Right Guard.
This is Brush Plus from Gillette. A shaving concentrate and brush in one. A brush to lift whiskers, a concentrate to soften them. A shave that is superior. Brush Plus for a superior shave.
The mere mention of Lawrence Taylor's name makes opponents uneasy. His search and destroy missions wreak havoc on NFL quarterbacks. Next week, Taylor and the Giants take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Then the Chicago Bears return to the place where last season's Super Bowl dreams died. They'll seek revenge against the San Francisco 49ers. These or other regional doubleheader games starting with the NFL today, next Sunday on CBS Sports.
Marion Campbell, the head coach of the Eagles, has talked it over with Ron Jaworski. They face a very treacherous 3rd down and 15 yards to go from their own 12. Philadelphia has had to use a couple of timeouts and trying to play catch-up ball down to 1. Doesn't help. The shotgun. Football game.
He's had a fantastic game today. He said he was ready to play, and now he's proven it with big play after big play.
Horan punts from his own end zone. Flag goes down, and that ball touched and finally goes out of bounds. But there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage. And if this goes against the Eagles, I would have to think New Orleans would just as soon they bring it back and kick again. Ineligible man downfield, Philadelphia. We'll talk it over with the Saints, but I would have to think that they'll make them kick again.
Well, with 6 minutes and 31 seconds left, you got to think about it, because sometimes possession is very important. And I like having that ball, too. You never know. At punt it again, you could get a fumble. Anything could happen.
Ineligible downfield, number 89 on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, repeat 4th down.
Dave Little who's a backup tight end, is also the snapper.
And he's been having his problems today because in the first half, he almost snapped one past Haran for a safety. This time, Haran had to jump. So he's had one low, he's had one high. Maybe this one will be right on the money.
Mike Haran having to imitate a baseball shortstop here today. Let's see this snap. It's right there, and Haran kicks it out of his own end zone. Eric Martin fields it. Fair catch signals and drops the ball. That ball can't be advanced. That's a muff. That's a muff. That ball cannot be advanced, but it'll be the Eagles' ball.
And that's what I was telling you about. Take the ball. Take the ball. The Saints had a chance to take the ball, but no, they wanted to kick it again.
Eric Martin muffs the football. It's recovered by the Eagles. You cannot run that in. You cannot advance a muff. That's not a fumble.
And the reason it's a muff is because he never had control of it. He never caught the ball.
Andre Waters with the recovery.
And Andre Waters has made some big plays already this year for the Eagles. And that was another one.
So the second punt does backfire. And Philadelphia, with 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go, still has life. Michael Haddix, the lone setback. Jaworski. Mike Quick. The ball was low. Hogan slipped, but so did Quick.
Tough coverage, a tough opportunity. Quick almost came up with it, but it was a little too low.
Good job that time by Michael Haddix blocking the blitzing Ricky Jackson.
And Major Everett, that was number 39. When you saw Major come in whispering, he was bringing the play from the sideline for Jaworski.
Probably telling Jaworski to put me in a formation on the other side of Ricky Jackson. 2nd and 10 from the 41. Deflected at the line. Glenn Red, the Eagle linebacker, had a shot at that ball, but somehow didn't go for it.
Jaworski was trying to hit number 89, Dave Little, coming across the middle that time. But somebody in the middle of that Saint line got their hands up, and it was tipped. That's a quarterback's nightmare.
That ball looked like a Texas leaguer into short center field where everyone stands around and looks at it.
Here comes the blitz again, and and Jaworski took quite a shot right in the face that time. Looked like it might have been James Wilkes.
The shotgun on 3rd down. It's a completion and an Eagle first down. A completion once again. John Spagnola comes through for the Eagles.
The Saints had to be thinking that the ball was going to be going to Spagnola, and sure enough it was. Look at 57, Ricky Jackson. You've seen him blitz. Now let's watch him in pass coverage. Kind of tough staying with those tight ends, especially one like John Spagnola, who's having a terrific day.
A key first down for Philadelphia. Jaworski to throw. Spagnola. You've got to protect your receivers. John Spagnola roughed up a bit by the Saints.
They better do something to him, because he's been hurting them.
His offensive lineman, Steve Kinney, comes in and gives him a hand.
Oh, I used to love a lineman that would come out and help a tight end when he's in trouble.
That's right. Your receiver is out there. He's hung up to dry. They'll hold you up and let everybody put a headgear on you. And that time, Steve Kinney came in late and said, hey, guys, he's got a white shirt on like me. You can see Red right there. They're holding up Spagnola and taking a shot.
Yeah, they're trying to rough him up. That was Frank Wadley who came in there a little late. A little forearm, a little hot cheese action.
2nd and 4. Complete to Haddix. Michael Haddix moves the ball upfield. He'll be short of the Eagle first down, but not by a lot. Ricky Jackson and Bruce Clark came out to put the hit on Michael Haddix. 4 4 minutes, 30 seconds left in this ball game. The Saints ahead by 9, 23-14. You see the time on the clock. The Eagles desperately need a touchdown.
Well, the Eagles have to get on the board quick. And some coaches say maybe you can go ahead and get a quick field goal because you still need a field goal and a touchdown to get back into this game.
That's Gene Fugit. I'm Dan Deerdorf, and we've got an exciting game on our hands here in the Superdome. Ernest Jackson on 3rd down. Did he get it? He's close. By where they spot the ball, he is very close. Well, there you get Michael Haddix's opinion. But there's the one that counts. 1st down, Eagles.
I would look for the Eagles to throw into the end zone this time. Try to get a 6 quick. And when they want a quick 6, who do they go to, Dan?
I would assume that they would go to Mr. Quick.
That's right.
I'm with you. 3:45 and counting. 1st and 10. Jaworski. Touchdown.
That's why they call him Quick 6.
Boy, you're so proud of yourself.
Oh, well, you know, even a blind hog will find an acorn every once in a while. But that time they ran a play that was designed for Randall Cunningham. It was a rollout play designed to give the quarterback some more time. You see, as he'll come out, he'll have number 63 pulling out in front of him. He turns back, he makes a nice block on Bruce Clark, and Jaworski delivers a strike, and he keeps both feet in. The official wants to make sure touchdown.
The extra point by McFadden. It's good.
That was Ron Baker who pulled out that time in front of Jaworski, giving him the opportunity to deliver that ball to Mike Quick. Watch it from ground level. You see big Bruce Clark getting pushed in, and here comes Jaws, not known for his quick feet, but he gets it off, and it's a strike. Touchdown, and Hogue a little late on the coverage, and the Eagles are back in this ball game.
Terry Hogue a couple of yards behind Mike Quick. Boy, you're going to be tough to live with all week long. Well, you guys in the truck, we're in trouble. Gene called one, and we'll never hear the end of this. 3 minutes, 35 seconds left in the 4th quarter, and the Saints' 9-point lead has quickly dwindled to 2, 23-21. Bum Phillips has to be saying, guys, why are you doing this to me?
Well, now they got to go out and control that ball. They've got to make some first downs, and if they can't keep the ball for the rest of the game or score, they have to put the Eagles into a hole. And it's going to be a challenge for that Saint offense, which has not been the best this season, because they're going to be going up against a very fired-up, emotional Eagle defense.
Yes, I think that's very safe to say, and I admire the Eagles, the way they have hung in this ball game.
And Ron Jaworski especially, because here's a guy who was benched after the first game. He could have quit. He could have gotten on the bench and pouted, but he's a man, and he came out and played like one.
That's Tyrone Anthony going up the far sideline. The Eagles in their coverage was right there. Not much going for Tyrone Anthony.
That's what Marion Campbell told us last night, Dan. Tonight on CBS, we got 60 Minutes, and then Murder, She Wrote, and then some season premieres. Crazy Like a Fox and Trapper John, one of my favorite shows, Dan.
Don't forget the MD on the end of that. No?
Well, I know he's a doctor, and I'll be home in time to see that one.
We're all so happy for you. Well, the Eagle defense doesn't have much choice. There you see Terry Hogue, injured Saint, down on the field. He's at the 20-yard line for the second time.
He's been in the middle of it all day, too.
What a game effort he's put up playing hurt. Let's take this opportunity while Terry's being attended to by the Saints medical staff to look at some other scores. A busy day around the National Football League.
Some interesting scores, too.
Chicago. What a tough game this is. 1 point, still leading Tampa Bay.
Nobody likes to go down there.
Green Bay with that explosive firepower. Lynn Dickey got to start this week, and the Packers have responded all over Detroit. Somehow, you didn't think the 49ers would lose this week.
But Atlanta gave him a tough battle early.
And Indianapolis on their way to 2-3, and Buffalo's problems continue. Terry Hogue walking off the field there in the background.
And Miami pulled it out. Boy, that must have been a tough game. That was 17-17 for a long time.
The Dolphins go to 4-1. The Steelers fall to 2-3. And Terry Hogue, the All-American from Georgia, heads to the Saint bench. Gene, we were watching him during practice on Friday afternoon, and that is a big safety. Terry Hogue listed at 6'3", 200 pounds, and he looks every bit of it to me.
He looked a little bigger than 200 even.
He really did. Well, let's make this 1st and 10. Wayne Wilson, the lone setback. Dave Wilson flares it to Wilson. Gary Cobb kept Wayne Wilson from moving back to the middle, but he picked up a couple of good yards. And we've got an injured Eagle back near where the quarterback was. That's number 93, Thomas Struthers. Thomas Struthers, who is a starter for Philadelphia defensive end until the acquisition of Reggie White, and Reggie got the call today, but Struthers down on all fours.
Well, Struthers had a fantastic opportunity when Dennis Harrison decided not to report to camp this year. Marion Campbell says you never know what a player is going to be like until he gets an opportunity to play. Struthers they knew had potential, and this year he played up to it. Now Reggie White coming back into the game, his ribs were a little tender. You ever have to play with tender ribs, Dan?
They hurt. They hurt. Next week, CBS Sports, a doubleheader Sunday. We'll lead it off with the NFL today. The 3 early games, the Cardinals against Philadelphia in Philadelphia. That game has been moved. It's the Giants in Cincinnati and Detroit and Washington, 12:30 Eastern, our start. And then the late games look like this. We'll go to Seattle as the Falcons pay a call. New Orleans goes to Los Angeles to play the Raiders, and the Bears and the 49ers. Some game that ought to be. All that next Sunday on your CBS station.
Yeah, Irv Cross will also have special reports from that 49er game next week.
They will go after each other. 2 of the finest defensive teams in the game. One more final score before the snap. 24-20 now. Cleveland has won over New England. On 2nd down and 7, Dave Wilson to Wayne Wilson. He finds a hole, and there goes a flag. There goes a flag. Did we see a face mask? Of course, it doesn't much matter what we saw. No.
No.
Holding against New Orleans. Well, this goes against the Saints. It stops the clock at 2 minutes, 42 seconds left in the 4th quarter.
Holding, 79 offense. Repeat, 2nd down.
You know, it just depends on where that official is looking, because he can look in a different area and see a different penalty. We were looking at the face mask, and he saw that a holding.
That's Ralph Williams, the right guard, and an incredible 21 penalties on the day here in the Dome. That's an awful lot of red flags.
But even more incredible is that the Saints have been penalized over 100 yards today, and that's a lot. Boy.
And still have the lead.
And still have the lead.
2:21 and counting. 2nd, 17.
But that lead is in jeopardy now.
Wilson going for Hobie Brenner, and he overthrows his tight end. Dave Wilson going for the big strike.
Well, that's going to set up a big 3rd down now. We're getting close to the 2-minute warning, although that incomplete pass stops the clock. So with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left, the Eagles have to be feeling pretty good right now, because they have an opportunity. If they can stop the Saints on this play, they should get the ball around midfield. And I understand, I was talking to Morton Anderson before the game, and he says in this Superdome he can kick them from 60 yards, so maybe Paul McFadden can kick them pretty far also here.
Bum Phillips, an obvious look of concern on his face. As on 3rd down, Wilson drops. It's deflected. That ball batted at the line of scrimmage, and the Eagles defense has come through once again.
Well, Reggie White was in there. I don't know if he tipped it, but big number 91, sore ribs and all, comes in for the injured Struthers to be an impact player on a big down. From the end zone, let's see if we can tell who got a piece of that ball. There's Reggie White at the right of your screen coming in, and sure enough,
Reggie White deflecting the ball and hitting the arm of Dave Wilson all at the same time. Another big play by the Eagles. Brian Hansen to punt for the Saints. What a kick. A fine high punt. Evan Cooper at his own 37. Gets upfield. Rather than head to the corner, he took it upfield after a 49-yard kick.
And it looked like Guido Merkins, number 19, the do-it-all man for the Saints.
Guido makes the hit. Well, it's the 2-minute warning, and there's a lot of football still to be played here in New Orleans.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
Up here, power when you need it can save your neck. When you get back down to your car, it helps too. Today's smaller engines need extra firepower from a spark plug, and AC delivers. If you could look inside your engine, you'd see an AC spark plug delivering up to 30,000 volts, firing 30 times a second. Firepower when you need it from AC.
Get rebates now on AC spark plugs.
Never wait for trouble.
Recently, the $12,000 Chrysler LeBaron GTS challenged the $24,000 BMW 528e to a high-performance duel. In every crucial test, the 1986 Chrysler LeBaron GTS beat the legendary BMW, and it will keep on beating BMW.
Paul McFadden on the Eagles sideline has yet to attempt the field goal here today. On the year so far, though, he's 7 of 9. The longest field goal of McFadden's career was a 52-yarder at against Detroit last November 4th. Will it come down to a kick by Paul McFadden? That's what Ron Jaworski would like to know. 1 minute, 54 seconds.
Jaworski's thrown for 274 yards, 3 TDs, and only 1 interception.
Nothing short of a sensational performance. Randall Cunningham started at quarterback, got absolutely nothing accomplished. And Marion Campbell, showing the confidence of Ron Jaworski, went to him early. The ball on the 44-yard line of the Eagles. Haddix on the inside. Michael Haddix picks up about 5 as he gets close to midfield.
And that's a good play to keep that defense honest, because you know they were thinking pass.
We must keep in mind the Eagles have used 2 of their timeouts already here in the second half. They are down to only 1 timeout. Ricky Jackson on the blitz. Of the ball game.
And you got to be excited for Dave Waymer, who has risen to the challenge each time, and you've got to feel a little bit for Ron Jaworski, who had an incredible game. But we talked about how devastating the blitz can be, and here comes 57 in his face. He tried to actually throw it away, but couldn't get enough on it, and there's Waymer.
You have to wonder in a situation like that why they allow Ricky Jackson to come unblocked.
It had to be a mistake. It had to be.
1 minute and 24 seconds left. New Orleans has the football.
And more importantly, the Saints, the Eagles only have one timeout left, so they can't even stop the clock. But one more time in this game.
Wayne Wilson drives for a couple of yards. What a game by Dave Waymer. Dave Waymer, his 6th year from Notre Dame. What a game. 3 interceptions. And that one snuffs out the Philadelphia Eagles. The clock is stopped. The Eagles take their final timeout. 1 minute and 11 seconds left. What a game effort by Ron Jaworski.
Jaworski came off the bench, got his team inspired. They got fired up, threw 3 touchdown passes, came within 2 points of tying this game up, a field goal away from winning it, a chance to win it, but couldn't come up with the big play. But it was not his fault, because big number 57, Ricky Jackson, the man who said that he was the star linebacker at Pitt with Hugh Green, was there and was taken as the first player in the draft by the Bucks, makes the big play again. He says he loves to get a kill shot on the quarterback. That time he came in clean. Jaworski just trying to, looked like to me he was just trying to throw it away. Either Quick would get it or would go out of bounds, but couldn't get enough on it. And Waymer, what can you say? He made 1 interception when he didn't even see the ball. That interception he made at the last minute, he turns and gets his hands on it. And it was so funny, Dan. I was on the field. He says, Gene, I'm really ready to play. And he meant it.
Well, once again, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the influence of Ricky Jackson, what he's done to Philadelphia offensively today. He's really hurt them. The Eagles cannot stop the clock. The clock continues to run. Dave Waymer, high fives for the crowd.
And the Saints looks like they're going to win 3 in a row, Dan. And it's been a while since they've done that.
3 games in a row will tie New Orleans' longest winning streak. They've never gone 4 games in a row. The Saints will take a delay of game penalty. The 30-second clock is now expired. They will have to run one more play as the clock won't start until they do.
Well, we said today was going to be a battle of the defenses, and the Saints defense was certainly up to it when they had to be.
Well, New Orleans will go to 3-2 with this win. Still very much a part of things in the NFC West.
But the Eagles have found an offense, and I'm going to be wondering who's going to be starting at quarterback when they play next week.
It is going to be interesting. What's sad for the Eagles, though, is they dropped to 1-4 in the tough NFC East.
Well, there's Bum Phillips and Marion Campbell. 2 coaches with teams look like they're going in different directions right now. The Saints won their 3rd in a row, and the Eagles 1-4. Very tough in the NFC East.
Well, the gun has sounded. The final score here at the Superdome today, the New Orleans Saints have beaten the Philadelphia Eagles. The final score, 23-21. Bum Phillips goes to the locker room, but I doubt he's all that happy with the way his team didn't put the Eagles away early. Our executive producer of CBS NFL Football, Terry O'Neill. Our senior producer, Charles H. Milton III. Today's game produced by David Dinkins Jr. and directed by Robert Matina. Joe Corelli, the associate producer of today's game. Our thanks to everyone else who helped bring you today's game. An exciting contest, Gene, no doubt of that.
No question. Very exciting.
Great job by the guys on the cameras today.
We got some real good shots.
Well, it's a happy Superdome crowd that begins to wend its way home. Their Saints off to a good start. We'll go to Brent.
When I came to America from Russia, I discovered many wonderful things, like blue jeans, unopened mail, and light beer from Miller. When I tasted this light, I said to myself, what a country. Light has great taste. Light's also less filling with third less calories than the regular beer. In America, there is plenty of light beer, and you can always find a party. In Russia, party always finds you.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hey! Bill, you used a dandruff shampoo on Tuesday?
And my dandruff's back on Thursday.
Well, maybe what you've got isn't ordinary dandruff.
Ask your doctor. Flaking and itching could be signs of eczema, seborrhea, or psoriasis. Try Tegrin medicated shampoo. It penetrates to the scalp to loosen and wash away flakes. Medicates the scalp to help control flaking and itching with regular use. Tegrin medicated shampoo in original or herbal.
All right, welcome back to New York. I'm Brent Musburger along with Jimmy the Greek and Irv Cross. The Bears come from behind to win. Next Sunday, you all know what's going to happen. The Green Bay Packers roll up a big score. But the Chicago Bears are the story right now. And I want to bring the Greek in because next week they go out to play the 49ers. Make me a line in that one, old Big Greek.
Definitely a 4 to 6 point favorite in favor of the 49ers.
Now, here he's been picking the Bears all season long. He gets an opportunity to...
I know, but the 49ers are at home, Brent.
I know.
You got to go to the home team.
Irv, let's take everybody to the scoreboard and get them up to date. We got a lot of action now around the league. As you can see, Chicago comes from behind. They win it 27-19. I think that's 3 times this year now. The Bears have come from behind in the second half, twice against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Green Bay, as you saw a few moments ago, easily over Detroit. 43-10 was the final there. Indianapolis, the most points the Colts have scored in a game since they were playing back in Baltimore, and in 1976, they hit Buffalo with a big number. And, of course, the Bills changed coaches, but Hank Bullitt didn't make any difference. They were overrun today. Cleveland, and the story here, Bernie Kosar, 24-20 over the New England Patriots. And Irv Cross, how did Kosar play?
Had a real shaky start. First snap to the center, he bobbled, and everybody thought, uh-oh, the rookie has jitters. Then he came in and threw 5 or 6 touchdowns, 5 or 6 completions.
That's right. He hit him in a row, and then finally, yes, Jimmy.
He's got to learn to move a little bit quicker, Brent. I'm talking about Kosar. He's a little bit slow in the backfield.
All right, the New Orleans Saints, they came away today with a win, 23-21. So, as Jimmy the Greek told us, Bum Phillips was under the gun last week. He goes to San Francisco, an upset. Now he comes back and he wins the game. Now, we're going to have more post-game activities when we continue in a moment.
We're here at the 18th hole of this light beer open, and we've seen some real unusual shots today.
You said it.
Hey, Bob, I think you got a birdie.
I'll see. How am I supposed to hit it through this tree?
No problem, Bert.
How's Yuka going to get out of this with
That calls for another light beer from Miller.
Make it 2, 3, 4.
It's a good thing light's less filling.
That's right, less filling. Back to you, Ricky.
John, the last player's approaching the tee.
And when it goes to 100, you sell. I won't be long, girls. Hold my calls, will you? It hit the weather vane. It's in the drain. Here it comes out. It's going on the green. It's going in the hole.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
This open ought to be closed.
All right, and one of the best games of the afternoon. The Miami Dolphins come down the stretch in the fourth quarter, and they put away Pittsburgh 24-20, and then they did it with just a couple minutes left in that game. San Francisco and Atlanta, the 49ers, behind Joe Montana's 5 touchdown passes. He was 37 of 57 for 429 yards, an embarrassing setback for the Falcons. On his 5th touchdown pass, there were only 10 defensive players on the game. Just underway, and Kansas City leads the Raiders by a field goal in the first quarter. San Diego and Seattle are underway, and the Seahawks kick a field goal. They lead by 3. Houston and Denver in Mile High Stadium scoreless right now in the first quarter. The Jets and Cincinnati are underway, and both teams strike early. tied at 7 right now. Minnesota and the unbeaten Rams, they are scoreless in the first quarter of that game. And for those of you who just joined us, let me get you up to date with the rest of them. The Bears a winner again, 27-19. They are now 5-0, and they go out to play the 3-2 San Francisco 49ers next Sunday. Green Bay over Detroit, 43-10, 6 turnovers by the Lions in that game. Indianapolis, with its most points since 1976 when they were playing in Baltimore, they rout Buffalo, 49-17. Cleveland over New England. Bernie Kosar forced to quarterback the Browns today because of a shoulder injury suffered by Gary Danielson, and the young man was impressive as he led them to that victory. New Orleans over Philadelphia as Bum Phillips. And Jimmy the Greek, I've got to ask you, because last week he beat San Francisco, now he stops the Eagles by 2. What does this do for the old Bummerooski?
I'll tell you one thing, he's a hero in New Orleans once again.
You won't be a hero long if he trades too many of our #1 draft choices down the road, I might add. All right. Pat Summerall was down in Atlanta, and he was covering the victory by the 49ers. We've got heroes like Joe Montana and Walter Payton, but let's start with Pat Summerall down in Atlanta. Pat?
Well, the final score, 38-17, and John, Joe Montana has graciously consented to stay out here and talk to us. Joe, did you have any idea what was going on as far as record setting is concerned?
No, I had no idea at all until after the last pass to Dwight, and we'd come off, and then we really felt the game was in hand, and they started talking about it, and I guess Roger tied something, a record, and we were going to try and get him the ball on the next play.
Yeah, he tied a record for most pass receptions in a game, 12.
Yeah, that's the only one I had heard of. Bill said that he had tied, and we'd like to get him the ball one more time, but we're going to try to go down the field one time.
Joe, how did you feel after coming off last week's loss to New Orleans and, you know, really having a bad day for you, and then coming back today? Was practice different this week? Was the whole approach different for you?
Well, I think it was a little more intense than it has been, and it was only because of the way we lost. We felt that, you know, we really didn't play our type of ball, but you know, you have to give them a lot of credit. They stopped all our short passes, which we started the game with here, and we really couldn't control the game as much as they were controlling what we were trying to do. And I held the ball a couple times trying to make a play, and I got in trouble for it. In this game, we came in and decided that we were going to try and hit the short passes there and then take our chances down the field every now and then.